Welcome to Wikipedia World. This is Miss Jazz, and we're going to discuss today the part 2 of vegetative propagation. So last video, we already talked about the definition for vegetative propagation and also the natural process for this propagation. Today, for this time, we're going to talk about artificial vegetative propagation. For some farmers, artificial means to produce plants that are the same or identical to the parent plant. And actually, we're going to discuss the three kinds or types for artificial ones. The first one, we have the cuttings. A cutting is a piece that has been cut off a mother plant and then caused to grow into a whole plant. Often, this involves a piece of stem that is treated with hormones to encourage new roots to form before planting. Sometimes, root cutting with buds on them will produce new shoots when pressed directly into soil. But stem-containing nodes or internodes is placed in moist soil and allowed to root. And some species, stem can start producing a root even when placed only in water. So meaning you can place the certain cut stem into the soil or into the water. We have different kinds for cutting propagation. The first one, we have the stem cuttings. When we say stems cutting, a 3 to 5 inch piece of stem is cut from the parent plant, and the leaves on the lower 1/3 to 1/2 of the stem are removed. A high percentage of the cutting root, and these do so quickly. Softwood cuttings are prepared from soil, so succulent and new growth of woody plants just as it begins to harden mature. The second thing, we have the tip cutting. We have here the tip and the normal cutting. In this cutting, we're going to detach a 2 to 6 inch piece of stem, including the terminal bud, and make the cut just below a node. Remove lower leaves that would touch or be below the medium. Dip the stem in rooting hormone if desired. Gently tap the ends of the cutting to remove excess hormone and make a hole in the medium with a pencil or pop ladle and insert the cutting deeply enough into the media to support itself. The next cutting, we have the medial cutting. It is also called as stem section cutting. When you say stem section cutting, you're going to make first cut just above a node and the second cut just below the node 2 to 6 inches down the stem, and you're going to prepare and insert the cutting as you would a tip cutting. Be sure to position right side up, and buds are always above leaves, and make sure the cutting is inserted base down. The next cutting, we have the cane cutting. Cut cane-like stem into section containing 1 or 2 eyes or nodes, and thus ends with fungicide or activated charcoal, allowed to dry several hours. Lay horizontally with about half of the cutting below the media surface. Each facing, we have the eye facing upward. Cane cutting are usually potted when roots and new shoots appear, but new shoots from Dracænia and Croton are often cut off and removed in sand. Next cutting, we have the single eye. As you can see, single leaf, and the eye refers to the bud which emerge at the axil of the leaf at each end. This is used for plants with alternative leaves when space or stock material are limited. Cut the stem about 1/2 inch above and 1/2 inch below node, and place the cutting horizontally or vertically in the medium with the node just touching the surface. The second cutting, we have the double eye. As you can see, we have the 2 leaves. And this is used for plants with opposite leaves when space or stock material is limited. Cut the stem about 1/2 inch above and 1/2 inch below the same node, and insert the cutting vertically in the medium with the node, just touching the surface. Next one, we have the heel cutting, and this method uses stock material with woody stem efficiently and make a shield-shaped cut about halfway through the wood around the leaf and axial bud, and insert the shield horizontally into the medium so that it is completely covered, and remove any leaf blade but keep a portion of the petiole intact for ease in handling this small cutting. Next one, for artificial vegetative propagation, we have the grafting. When we say grafting, this method involves joining a stem piece as in grafting or a single bud as in budding onto the stem of a plant that has roots. The stem piece or bud is called the scions, and the plant with roots is called the root stock. Grafting is commonly used to produce fruit trees, sometimes with more than one variety of the same fruit species growing from the same stem. Example, grafting has long been used to produce novel varieties of rose, citrus species, and other plants. Two plant species are used in this process. Part of the stem of desirable plant is grafted onto a rooted plant called stock. The part that is grafted or attached is called the scion. Both are cut at an oblique angle, any angle other than a right angle, placed in close contact with each other, and are then held together, and matching up these two surfaces as closely as possible is extremely important because this will be holding the plant together. The vascular system of the two plants grow and fuse, forming a graft. After a period of time, the scion starts producing shoots, eventually bearing flowers and fruits. Grafting is widely used in viticulture, grape growing, and the citrus industry. Scions capable of producing a particular fruit variety are grafted onto root stock with specific resistance to disease. As you can see in the picture, this is the grafting. You're going to put this one to the another root and make it the cover and make it grow as itself. The next one, or the last artificial, we have layering. Layering is usually used in tissue culture and sometimes called as micropropagation, and tiny fragments of plants are treated with plant hormones in a sterile growing medium. The hormones stimulate the growth of achelios, from which a new seedling can grow, and this method is used to produce a large number of identical seedlings. For example, layering is a method in which a stem attached to the plant is bent and covered with soil. Young stems that can be bent easily without any injury are the preferred plant for this method. Jasmine and bougainvillea paper flower can be propagated this way. In some plants, a modified form of layering known as air layering is employed. A portion of the bark of the outermost covering of the stem is removed and covered with moss, which is then taped. Some gardeners also apply rooting hormone, and after some time root will appear. This portion of the plant can be removed and transplanted into a separate pot. As you can see in the picture, we have a lot of kinds of tip layering, and the first kind we have the tip layering. As you can see here, you're going to layer it. This is, you're going to dig a hole in 3 to 4 inches and insert the sharp tip and cover it with soil. And the tip grow downward first, then bend sharply and growing upward. So this one and going to upward, this one. And for example, this we have the purple and black raspberries, and trailing blackberries. The second tip, or for layering, we have the simple layering, this one. When we say simple, you just cover the part of it with soil and leaving the last 6 to 12 inches exposed, and bend the tip into vertical position and stick in place. And for example, for this, we have the forsythia and honeysuckle. Next one for layering, we have the compound layering. This method works for plants with flexible stems and bend the stem to the rooting medium as for simple layering, but alternately cover and expose them sections. Would the lower side of the stem sections to be covered, and for example of this layering, we have the heart leaf, philodendron, and patons. Next layering, we have the stool or the mound. And you're going to cut the plant back to 1 inch above the ground in the doormat section and mound soil over the emerging shoot in the spring to enhance the rooting. For example, for this layering, we have the gooseberries and apple root stalks. The next one, we have the air layering. This one. Air layering is used to propagate some indoor plants with thick stem or to rejuvenate them when they become leafy. Slit the stem just below a nod and pry the slit open with a toothpick, surrounding the wood with wet unmilled spongeous moss and raw plastic or foil around the spongeous moss and tie in place. When root pervade the moss, cut the plant off below the root ball. And as you can see in the picture, this is the layering. So, in this video, we're going to know already the artificial vegetative propagation. We have the first, the layering, second is the cutting, and the third is the grafting. I want you to watch the third part of this video, and that is all about economic importance of propagation. Thank you for listening to Wikipedia World.